this year when we moved in together, I was finally able to do things that I wanted to do, save a bit, and also be able to invest in my business, which was
Starting out in life, you cannot be focused on things that are going to take more from you.
exactly.
We understand that if I am going to lend you something, you
Please,
must give it back.
I beg. You honor the fact that, okay, you acknowledge the fact that, okay, I
principle.
owe this person. Yes, it's just about principle that, okay, I owe you money and I need to pay back. So,
The problem is just the spirit of entitlement.
and be at point zero,
Yes.
because you can't be at point zero and want to leave like someone who's at point A. Because I personally, I love the fact that was so clear, like for the both of us, that babes, you can't not have money for like the important things. You'll always have different views, man, in life, especially when you're not the same people, and you always have to come down to the fact that, girl, remember, that is an individual. They have their own life, they're their own person, and they have to make their own decisions.
Hi guys, how's it going? It's Alratum Chagi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am not shooting alone, I'm shooting with my best friend, the love of my life, my partner. So she will go ahead and introduce herself, because I don't think my YouTube community knows her.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think you guys know her, and me not being on the socials also, they don't know her. But my Facebook people know that. I usually say my friend and I this, my friend and I that. So guys, this is the friend and she'll introduce herself.
Hi guys, my name is Lerato Raolang. I am an accountant by day and a seamstress by night. I've also ventured into the beauty industry and I offer lash services and hair related services. Yeah, that's who I am and what I do. And this is my best friend.
And in today's video, we're going to talk about friendships and finances, and maybe just friendships in a nutshell and the ins and outs of friendship. My friend and I stay together. We have moved in together for a year now.
Yeah, it's almost been a year because it's been 11 months. 11 months. Yeah.
Yes,
This is the
12th month.
Yeah, because we started living together in Feb last year.
Yes. And to just give a background of where we come from, we've been friends for it's been over 6 years now.
Yeah,
I think. Yes, because we met in varsity. So she has been my friend since the day that I met her, actually. And when we graduated, you moved to Joburg first.
Yes.
And then I moved after. And for the first year of our lives being in Joburg, we were not staying together. And I got a job in January 2023. Yes.
No. 2023 was last year. So
yes.
It's 2022. Oh, you mean your permanent job?
Yes, when we are now going to move in together.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. So when I got my new job, we decided that let's just move in together because she works remotely. So it was just convenient for the both of us to live together. And me being about finances and all of that, it just made sense financially for the both of us.
Okay, let me tell my side of the story, because I just that is your side of the story of why we moved in together. So before we actually even moved to Johannesburg, right, I remember we were still home. I think both of us were still unemployed. Had we recently I don't know at what point we graduated.
We graduated February 2021.
Okay, I don't remember, but there was a time when I had the graduation lunch and thing.
That was in was it August?
I don't remember.
Yes, it was in August.
But we're still both home.
Because just after that, I was going to move to Joburg. If you think about it,
that was when they were contacting you for the interview of the job, remember?
Oh yes.
So what happened was, I think I had already moved to Johannesburg, because then I went back home for that. Because remember, in April I moved to Joburg.
Yes.
And then I stayed there without working. I was just doing whatever that I was doing. And then I came back home for that luncheon thing. And then you came to my house. And then when we did the photo shoot, the graduation photo shoot, I remember I said, you're gonna move to Joburg and then we're gonna stay together. And then you say, yeah. I think we're just, randomly it's something that was so random. It just like came out of nowhere. And then fine, I came back to Joburg, and then that's when you then got the job. You moved this side as well.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
And then when you moved, I wasn't working as well. So the whole thing was also not in our minds to say, okay, we can move in together, because it didn't make sense. How are we going to move in together? Because I was still staying with my aunt and I was unemployed. And then you got your place. And then I remember the reason why there was a time you came to my place. go Randburg. And
Yes.
then Nell came to see me.
Yes.
Remember? And
Yes.
then he said, "You're always with your friend. Your friend is always here. Why don't you guys stay together?" And I remember because we actually wanted to stay together, but because of the timing of everything,
And maybe not thinking it through.
yes,
And how
because
it
it was
can work.
yes,
Yeah.
it was just the thing of but as a Jovic and then we'll stay together. But we never actually entertained the idea when we now
No.
moved into Joburg. And I think because of the timing of everything. And by then when I was in Randburg, I was working. And then I just came back and I'm like, remember that whole chat about us staying together
Yes.
and that was just the thing. And then we started looking for places and
Yeah. And I think just what made us picture it being possible was the fact that she was working remotely,
Yes.
as I've mentioned, and I was staying in Rosebank. She was in Randburg, and that's like less than 15 kilometers distance.
Yeah.
So we just thought, let's just move in together. And then I changed jobs from Ilovo to Bryanston.
Yes.
So we had to look for a place that will be close to Bryanston and Midrand in
Yes.
case if you have to go to the office.
Yeah.
So that's just how we decided to move in together, and in hindsight we just realized how this is going to be beneficial for the both of us, and it
Yeah.
has been benefiting us quite well.
a lot.
A
Actually.
lot.
Yeah.
A lot. So I think it was the best decision that we took for ourselves.
Yeah, and when I was just reflecting on like 2023, and I just thought the best thing that I actually did, well, for myself and for the both of us, was for us moving in together. I think that was one of the best decisions that we made
Yes.
because it has not only benefited us financially, but even like our friendship
Our
and
friendship.
everything. Yeah, we've grown so much. Yeah, it has just been beneficial overall.
Yeah. It has just been a blessing.
Yeah,
To wrap it up.
more than anything.
More than anything.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think I did mention that today we're just going to talk about friendships and finances. So my friend and I split the fixed expenses, the monthly fixed expenses.
Yeah.
The day ones in this channel know that I did talk about how I get to save money, and that is by sharing some of my expenses with my friend. So we share.
It's a rent.
It's the rent, it's the Wi-Fi, it's food.
Yeah, and then electricity and the water bill comes with
the rent.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
that's that.
That's that. And if you think about it, those are the fixed expenses that cost too much.
Yeah.
So it's actually giving us a much more break financially, because if you think about it, if I was staying alone and she was staying alone, we would probably pay.
All those expenses that we incur, the both of us.
Yes.
You were gonna incur them
Individually.
yeah.
And that is like
Oh my God.
8 or 9K. So that will be
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And us being freshly graduates, well, not anymore because it's been quite some time now, but we know the situation in South Africa that if you just graduated, you're not gonna get too much.
Yeah, I mean, especially looking at the industry.
Yes.
That yeah, the career that you've chosen for yourself. You should know that. Okay, during my first or second year of working, it's probably not going to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we both studied accounting.
Yeah.
Yes. So when we started off as finance interns.
Yeah.
And the money was not that much.
Yeah.
So it was a bit.
And you
It
know
was
what
a
the
hassle.
interesting thing is?
Yeah.
When we made this decision to move in together, we were both still interns. That's
Yes,
the
we
interesting
were.
part about it. And we were both looking at our intern salary because we were both spending almost half of our salaries on the rent and those.
Only the rent. Only the rent. Like,
only the rent
only the
because we were
rent.
paying close to 4K.
And we were both getting
like,
8K.
yeah. And then we're like, oh my God, if we stay together, we are not even going to be incurring this much. I think that's where we were coming from. But by the grace of God, when we moved,
I got the job,
and then I
and
also
you
got
also
the
got a
job.
promotion,
So yeah,
so-
that was such a blessing. God
Yes, it
works in
was.
mysterious ways, actually. Yeah.
Yes. So for me, as somebody who was passionate about personal finance, I got to save way more, and it also benefited her because we agree on quite a lot of things, and we understand the importance of having our finances in check.
Yeah.
So that freeing up some of our cash has actually enabled us to set up ourselves financially. We're gradually getting there.
Yeah.
And her being in business, I believe that
Yeah.
also helped you.
It did help me. And, I was just thinking that at least for the first time, well, I mean, I've only been working for 2 years, but I think the first year of me working was really very difficult financially, because you're like, okay, I'm working, there's this rent that I have to pay, these expenses that I have, and I also just want to use my job to finance my business, and that hasn't been easy with all the things that I had to do. When you move, everything is now on you. You have to buy the bed, you have to buy a table, you literally have to buy everything, and you're like, the money is too little for me to do all these things and still be able to save, still be able to invest in my business. It was messy. I think that year for me was too messy, that this year when we moved in together, I was finally able to do things that I wanted to do, save a bit, and also be able to invest in my business, which was really a great thing for me, because I was like, okay, now I see this is working the way I want it to work for me.
So moving in together was just a great move, for our finances and for our friendship, and just for life, man. Like, can you just imagine how lonely it can get? I know this is not part of the whole thing, but just having somebody you come home to, it's actually it's a great feeling, right? And to know that you have this person that is helping you in your life. I understand my friend is into business, like she's already in, and understanding that she's only starting now, she needs all the money to fund her business, and me having these financial goals, I am also now able to
work towards those,
and so I think it was a great move for the both of us.
And we've also, because we're just thinking about the fact that we are growing up, and as adults, you need to start dating and things like that. We were thinking that this was going to be our last year together, but no, we are not doing it. We are not doing it until one of us gets married. We'll continue to stay together. I know,
I'm laughing. And yes, and just living in South Africa, in this economy, and where everything is just so expensive, it baffles me. This is just my opinion. It baffles me when I have conversations with other girls in particular, and they're just so stunned at the fact that I am living with my friend, and they get to question how I get to date and all of that. What if my boyfriend wants to come over and all of that? And I'm just thinking that it's just so funny how you've put a relationship at the top of the hierarchy of your needs or of the things that you want to achieve. And if you think about it, as people who are starting out in life, that is just a fact. You're starting out in life, you cannot be focused on things that are going to take more from you.
Exactly. And I mean, not in a bad way, but
can you, sorry to cut you, but can you imagine paying 7,000 in rent
for a man? No, honestly, I just feel like it's for a man.
Yes, and we're not trying to be bitter, but financially, does it make sense for you?
Exactly.
Paying that much simply because you want to have the freedom of having somebody coming in and out of your home.
I think you need to get your priorities straight. If that is the reason why you are, the main reason why you're staying by yourself.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, I think you just need to get your priorities straight, because it doesn't really make sense unless if you don't have any financial goals. Then
or maybe you don't have any money's not a problem.
Then sure,
right. You can do that. Yes. So those are some of the things that I pick when I have conversations with people, and sometimes they even ask how my friend and I are staying together and still able to maintain the peace in the friendship, because we know that where there's money, there's problems.
That's for sure.
Right, there's problems, and people keep asking me how do you do it? Who pays what? Who's get to spend more? Like, what if you get to spend more and she doesn't? What really?
Those kind of
things. How we go about that?
You know what? I think the most important thing about our friendship is that it's more than just, I don't know how to put this, but it's really not about material things more than anything. And money to us, it's just the tool to enable us to, I guess, get the things that we want in life and to better us, just to use it as how do I put this?
To move from point A to B, like to just level
Yeah,
up in
but
life,
it's not
kind
something
of.
that we hold on to like that. We don't. I don't know.
It
We
is
don't
not.
see
It's
money
not like the
that.
main core of our
No, it's not.
friendship.
No, it's not. And hey, there's us before money. I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to say. That we've actually met in varsity.
Yeah.
So that was before everything. That was before us affording and all of that.
Yeah.
So we had actually built a bond
Yeah.
before we could be the people that we are today, before we could move in together. So by the time we decided to move in together, we
Yeah.
knew each other. I knew the kind of person she is.
Yeah.
She knew me and our differences.
Yeah.
And we already know how
kind
we
of
are going to
people we are,
navigate
yeah.
this whole thing of staying together and being friends and
Yeah.
sharing everything
Yeah.
and understanding that there shouldn't be any spirit of entitlement, and one person is not taking from you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because my friend and I just it's I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just so easy for her and I to live together. If now we run out of tea,
Yeah.
it's not even a matter of who has the money or who doesn't. I can just
Like,
decide
just go
to
buy tea.
Just go buy tea. It's
Like, why do you even
tea.
have to think about it? I mean,
Yes.
I'll bring, if I'm gonna go to the office, I'll bring tea from work, or if she goes to, I'll buy it after work. It's just tea, it's just sugar, whatever it is that you need to buy.
You
It's
know?
really just that. It's not a
Yes.
big deal, unless if we have to make like big purchases where we have to sit and say, okay, this is what we need to buy, and then this is how much money we need to, we both need to pop up, and that's it. Literally. But the small things, honestly, it's really just
Come on now.
come on now.
Come on now.
That's only 100 rand. Like,
25 rand.
Imagine.
Imagine.
and I'm away. So,
You know, yes.
No.
So I really feel like those are some of, maybe like there should be a mindset shift
Yeah.
in friendships.
Yeah.
And understand that it's not about entitlement.
No.
And it's not that when you do something the other person must now feel obligated to do that.
exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
But I think maybe just having ubuntu,
I think
it's knowing
it's
that,
really
okay,
just
if
about
you
that.
bought today, you will buy tomorrow.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
And also, I also just like the fact that even if I buy today, tomorrow there's still something that's not there. I'll still be okay to still buy, because
Yes.
I mean, I know you would do the same.
Yes. So
yeah,
I think
I think that's the reason why, that I know you would do the same. It's really not a big deal.
No, it's not.
I won't ever feel like, oh my god, I'm always buying. And I mean, if that's how I feel, I think also another thing that I like, it's the transparency. If I want you to buy
Yes.
bread, I'll tell you, friend, please buy bread.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think also transparency is very much important in a friendship, especially where money is concerned.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we've also been able to establish very well, to say that, okay, friend, you know what, I'm not in a good financial position for us to be gallivanting, because it can so happen that I feel like I want us to go out, but if financially, when you're not in that space to be going out, it's very important that you are able to say, friend, I can't do that now.
Yes.
So that if now I feel like I can be able to stretch my pocket for us to go out, because that's something that I want us to do, then we can do that. But it shouldn't be a thing where now you have to go out of your way and inconvenience yourself just so we can go out. So that's something that we also don't do.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I think we are also big on not being inconvenienced
Yeah, hey,
by
please.
anyone.
Hey, please, I beg.
By
Especially
anyone,
financially.
especially
please
financially.
don't.
You know,
Yeah.
we refuse to be inconvenienced financially, and that is why we had learned to be as transparent and as we can.
Yeah.
That, okay, friend, this is my budget for the month. I know that you had planned for us to do this and that, but this is my budget for the month, and I won't be able to do as much. Maybe then we can change from this to that,
yeah.
just so that you don't get to bear all the cost of that outing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just also like the fact that there's been a lot of instances where I don't know, we always know though, like, hey, Chomi doesn't have money, or Chomi this. There's this going on, like financially, you have these kind of financial responsibilities that if the other person feels like, we honestly deserve to go out, or we've been in the house for too long, they're just like, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, because we do that a lot also, that, okay, I've gotten some money from wherever, let's go out. And
Right.
that's just, yeah, and it's not a big deal. We do that a lot.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And I think also because, as you mentioned, you know that I would do the same, and
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that you would do the same.
I think
so
that's why we're comfortable to do that.
yes. So then I guess we should say that in a friendship, eliminate the spirit of entitlement.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
And be as transparent as you can be. And if you can be transparent, then you are friends with somebody you can trust.
Yeah. It's the same thing as doing. I think another thing, it also goes with the kind of a person that you are. Are you really like someone who likes to give? I feel like also if you care about the next person, but it depends. I think it depends the kind of a friend that you have. Because as much as I would say, if you are a giver, if you love me that much, you'd always feel like you want to give me because you love me and you are a giver in your nature. But if I never return the favor, it's gonna be like,
Yes.
So
yes.
it goes both ways.
Yes, it does.
It goes both ways.
Then I guess compatibility is a thing.
Yeah, and maybe we're just blessed.
Yes. So that is that. And I think I put up a Facebook post a few days ago asking about how money has affected friendships and what happened. And most people commented that I borrowed somebody money, never returned it, and
do we borrow each other money?
We do, but not
20 rand. That's the money she's talking about.
Oh my god!
Like it's really not a thing of. Oh my god!
I gave you 5,000.
No, you
winner.
You are financially irresponsible. No. But no, it depends.
Yes.
It depends. I don't think we've gotten to that point, because also it's not a thing of being irresponsible, because what do you need the money for? I think now if we're going to be giving each other big monies, it's probably when maybe you have a project that you want to fund or something. It's probably just going to be a thing like that, but never a thing of, oh my god, friend, you don't have money to do like important things. It's never really that, because oh my god, why are you irresponsible?
Yes.
So there's more
no,
it's just like
and funny enough, we understand that if I am going to lend you something, you must give it back.
I beg.
Even if it's
5
20
rand.
Yeah, I want it back.
Yes.
It's my money. I don't care if you're my friend.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I like, is that even if I say, friend, hey, I like that so much, friend, please do this 1, 2, 3 for me, I'll give you 30 rands.
Because time is money.
And it's always those like, I'll give you 20 rands, and they say, no, 30. I'm like, okay, sharp. And then you're like, you owe me, I want my money.
Yes, and like,
and then I give you your money. Yes, and I just love that. Even though it's more monies, you honor the fact that, okay, you acknowledge the fact that, okay, I owe this person. Yes, it's just about principle that, okay, I owe you money and I need to pay back. So that even when we start now get to a point where we have to give each other like big monies, you'll be able to trust me with that, or I'll be able to trust you with the fact that my friend will give me my money back, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, it's those little things that actually build up the trust. Because if I can't trust you with my 20 rands, how am I going to trust you with my thousands?
You really can't say, oh my god, 20 rand, baby, it's mine.
No.
Like that 20 rand is mine. You didn't have it. The reason I gave you, it's probably because you didn't have it, or you needed it, but you didn't have it at your disposal. So
it's not yours. Can you...
Spirit of entitlement. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. About. And either it's 10 rands or 20 rands, it is not yours. You are not entitled to it. Exactly. So I really just feel like a lot of friendships die, especially where finances are concerned, die because of that. It's just 500. Like, how can my friend come and demand 500? You know, and you know the worst thing ever is that knowing that you owe someone, you owe your friend, you still go back to ask for more money.
That's wild. Like, honestly, if you're doing that, you really need to do some introspection, and it's really not cute, babes. Not. Like, no, don't do it. Don't do it, because what kind of a person does that make you?
And can you imagine that being done to you?
Exactly. It's always nice when you're doing that to other people, but imagine that being done to you.
So it's not cool.
It's not cute.
Yeah. So I think where money is concerned and friendships just, you know, breaking down and all of that, the problem is just the spirit of entitlement.
Yeah. And I just also feel like people don't respect people enough. Like, as much as you're my friend, I have to respect you, and I have to respect your boundaries. And when you say you don't like something, I have to respect that.
Yes.
If you give me money and say, I want my money back this date, you want it. It's your money,
Yes.
and I have to respect that.
And I don't need to go after you, like
No.
asking for the money. If now you go borrow money at FNB, no question, debit order thing done.
Ebe.
So why should I, now that I am your friend, run after you to get my money?
Exactly.
Like I just don't understand it, and it's just so sad to see most good relationships
Yeah.
coming to an end because of
Yeah.
that one thing.
Yeah, and also if you just think about it, what kind of a person does that make you in general? This is the reason why then people cannot maintain friendships.
Yeah. Or
Maybe you are the
relationships,
problem.
like just
Yeah.
relationships in
Yeah.
a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then maybe you are the problem.
Yeah.
You are the problem. So I don't think money is that much of a big deal, but the person that you are is
Yeah.
a big deal.
And also just being open to learning, it can really go a long way for you as an individual, because I've personally learned a lot from you just by living together and seeing that, okay, you know what? Because some things you never really know until you are in that situation or that
Yes,
position that,
yes.
okay, this is how money things work, you know, and then just being open to those things and not wanting to go in the way that you actually just think is right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that also
Yeah.
learning
Yeah.
and maybe if in a friendship, like especially girls, I just feel like these things of personal finance and investing in whatever, I feel like it's mostly like men who understand it.
Yeah,
You know?
yes. And we
Yes.
don't, it's the same thing that I just feel like it's the same thing that you were talking about, that as a girl, you'd want to move in an apartment by yourself
Yes,
simply because
yes.
I want my men to be able to come visit. Men don't have time to be thinking about those things. They don't. If
No,
a man
they
has a goal,
don't.
he's going to focus on the goal,
Yes.
not on, like, I want Loretto to be able to come.
To come
no.
you know,
No.
it's hardly happens. So if you are girls and you really just want to level up financially, and you need to understand that for you to level up, even for guys, like for you to level up, you need to know where you are and
Yeah.
understand that I am at point zero and I need to move to point A. So you need to look for ways in which you are going to move to point A effortlessly.
Yes, and just accept that you're at point zero at this
It's
moment.
very much
And be
important.
at point zero.
Yes.
Because you can't be at point zero and want to live like someone who's at point A. Because then you're never going to be able to progress financially.
No.
Because also once you make big financial commitments, it's difficult to now go back.
Yes.
Then how are you then going to progress from there? How are you going to progress
You
from
know,
there?
it's a problem.
Yeah.
And I think then it, like, to just go back to what we've been talking about borrowing money and
Yeah.
all of that, it's, if you're going to borrow money just to go buy hair,
You are crazy.
because somebody else like have new hair,
You are crazy.
no, I really just feel like
You have
you
a problem.
can't. A very
And
serious
honestly, now it's Jan, right? Today is the 1st of January. If you don't have money to go to work, personally, I'm judging you.
one. No, me too.
I'm sorry, I'm judging you. Like all this December, you're busy eating your money, forgetting that you have to go to work. No.
Irresponsible.
Like, don't ask me for money. Are you crazy?
You don't have it.
No, I don't have it.
Yes,
Because you're busy
so,
charging money. Did I not want to charge my money as well?
you know.
Because you charge your transport money. Now I must give you my money. No.
So I think those are like the kind of things that must be talked about in a
Yes,
friendship. That
yes.
listen, we can't be having conversations around you not
Exactly.
having money to go to work.
Exactly.
Now you have to resort to debt because you know you won't come to me. Imagine
Yes.
now, like, you go behind, not my back, but yeah, I don't know, that you are now on FNB, Capitec, taking up those personal loans. Cap fee. Taking those personal loans because you don't have money to do some of the important things, man.
Yeah.
You can't.
You
know?
can't do that.
No, you
and
can't.
I personally, I love the fact that was so clear, like for the both of us, that babes, you can't not have money for like the important things.
No.
You can't do that. You can't not have money to go to work. How? Like, make it make sense. So, Luena, personally, you know, hey, I can't do this.
Exactly.
Like, you have to, if you can't do it for yourself, then
Maybe
do
do
it for
it
your
for somebody
friendship.
else.
Hey, so
Maybe
you
do
just
it for
know,
somebody else.
if
Hey.
when you can't look at yourself like that to say, no man, like,
This
it's
that
not
I'm
cute.
doing is
But
not cute.
think about then the next person, but girl, really,
No, come
it's
on.
embarrassing. Like, be
It is.
embarrassed at
Yes,
least.
it is. It
Yeah,
is.
so I love that. It's really the small things that actually mold you, like they make you grow, because when you're alone it's really easy to get away with a lot of things, but like in friendships you're able to see things differently, and just the friendship itself it can hold you accountable.
Yes,
I
it
like that.
can.
I like that a
Yes,
lot.
yes.
Yeah, it has really done a thing for me personally.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think for me as well.
Yeah.
But I think like you and I are different.
A lot.
Yes, we are like
Yeah.
different, but I still feel like even in our differences, we still do well financially.
Yeah, I think
especially where you
financially,
are.
Shem, like
Especially where you are. You
yeah,
know?
financially
And,
we.
yeah, and if you're going to live with someone,
Yeah.
then it's very much important that you do the planning together.
Yeah.
Like now, it's the beginning of the year, and we have this. We would call them big purchases for us
Yeah.
that we're supposed to make, and we had to sit down, get a plan, and be like, okay, friend, in the first month is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
In the second month is what we're going to do. And are you able to? It's very much important that you always consider if the next person is able to do something or not.
Yeah.
Because arlekani.
No.
Even
I mean,
in our income, still arlekani, because you find that maybe you have black tax and I don't,
Yeah.
you know,
And
or
just
maybe
priorities.
priorities, and maybe like I get to have supplements.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Like my dad be like, okay, girl, Twara, and you don't. Like you don't have maybe the
Exactly.
privileges that I have. So it's very much important that you get to, you know, be transparent
And considerate
and be
as well.
considerate.
Yeah.
Yes, because then you can. I just feel like it would be so selfish of you to say, okay, let's buy this that costs like 7,000, and knowing very well that for me to have that money, I have to save for like 6 months.
Yeah, like always ask, like, are you, it's even the simple things like going out. Do you have the money to go out? I would like us to go out for a drink, for coffee. If I don't want to pay for the whole bill, I have to consider if you have the money to go for the
Yes.
coffee date. So it's even in simple things that can really break friendships, friend. Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yeah. And do you think it is important, like as we are living together,
Yeah.
that you just focus on like the biggest expenses in the household and not maybe like try to copy what the other person is doing? I don't know if I'm making sense, but
Okay,
I'm
elaborate.
just like understanding that we are different. We
Yeah.
want different things.
Yeah.
We need to understand that what brings us together in the household are the household expenses.
True.
And from that, you have no entitlement over my money.
Yeah,
I know we
sure.
are friends, but
Yeah.
then you can't come and be like, okay, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you
Yeah,
know,
no.
like, yeah, controlling.
No, and that goes in like everything. It's something that personally for me, because I've also just realized that you will always have different views, man, in life, especially when you're not the same people. And you always have to come down to the fact that, girl, remember, that is an individual. They have their own
Yes.
life, they're their own
Yes.
person, and they have to make their own decisions. Unless it's just the thing of us talking, but not me imposing and saying, babe, hey, you can't be doing this. That's wrong.
It is.
It's very wrong, and it's something that I think it can just happen a lot without even realizing that, oh my God, I'm actually imposing here. But
yeah, you need to
It's
hold
wrong.
back.
You
I
need
know
to
you're
hold back.
entitled to your
Yeah.
opinion, but you need to understand that you are your own person.
Yeah.
She is her own person, or he is his own person.
Yeah.
And I want different things for
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
you know, and you also. And the only thing that we share in this house
Yeah.
are the household expenses.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's really not much of your business. And I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be arrogant about it, but it's not really much of your business.
Yeah.
But what's the most important is knowing that you still need to save and invest.
Yeah.
You see there, I just feel like, actually, I know for sure that we don't compromise when it comes
Yeah.
to that. Even if it's a mere 500 rand, as long as you've put something aside,
Yeah.
and if you're unable to save this month, okay, friend, then next month we are not doing anything. We are getting our lives together, like back together.
yeah, I mean, everyone has to do whatever they want to do with their money, honestly. And for as long as, I mean, it's always going to be a thing of, okay, outside us being, should I say roommates? Well, yeah, that's
Housemates.
Housemates. Yeah, outside us being housemates, then yes, we are friends. But also, even in friendship, you always have to draw the line. Like, you always have to get to a point where you're like, okay, you know what? I feel like if there's something that I needed to say, I've said it. The decision is always yours to make. I mustn't now come and impose and say, no, but friend, do this, don't do that. At the end of the day, now I need to be okay with the fact that you did Even if you
Yes.
do something different from what we spoke about, it's still okay. It has to be okay because at the end of the day, it's your decision to make because it's your life. Yeah.
So then I think maybe a lot of friendships die, especially for friends that stay together because of that. If
It's
you think about
possible,
it,
yeah.
because it's very much difficult to understand that we must maintain our
Yeah, you're right.
like our individuality. Like, you are your own person, I am my
True,
own person.
true.
So if you really struggle from the spirit of controlling entitlement, you can't move in with your friend.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, you can't. You can't because that's a big thing right there. It is. It is. Because now I'll be thinking, oh my God, friend, you have this much money and all you want to do maybe with your money is just to save it and you are happy. Why would I force you to do things you don't
Yes,
want
you know,
to?
and now I can't come and be like, no, friend, but yeah, when you're taking this money and you're putting it, like, so much of it into your training, and then
Exactly.
like,
What if that's what you want to do?
Exactly, you can't.
Yes. Yeah, it's the same thing. You know, some people are obsessed with education. Well, I know you're not obsessed with education. You like
But
further your
yeah,
studies. Yeah, I think But some people
sorry
are
to
really
cut you, but
yeah.
that's the difference between her and I.
Yeah.
Career wise, nyana.
Yeah, I
And
think you are more career
that
oriented than I
dibuka.
am.
Yes, yeah.
Than I am. So if that is the kind of a person that you are, then I need to respect the fact that even if you take half of your money and put it on your studying, it's okay.
Yes.
And if I wouldn't do that, it doesn't mean, Rowena, what you're doing now, I must, like, what is the word? Like, it's and like, you know,
no, you
on
can't.
some, oh my God, why are you doing that?
Yeah,
It's
like,
wrong.
you put in this much money into this and you keep on failing.
It's wrong.
It's
I
wrong.
mean,
You can't.
you can't do that. No, you can't.
Yeah, I really feel like if you are not that much mature,
Yeah.
you can't live with your friends.
And I see motivational speakers do that a lot. Like on some, your 9 to 5 verse. Like, just because when you are into business, it doesn't mean that you have to look down on 9 to 5.
Yeah,
I don't like
that. On its
that.
own is a topic. Oh
I
my
don't
God.
like that. Oh my God, I hate it so much because it's not like running a business, it's easy.
Okay.
So I don't like that. It's the same thing because now you'll be here saying, oh my God, friend, it would be better if you do that. No, no.
You don't do that.
You don't even say those words. No,
you don't get to decide for someone,
person,
like on anything actually, unless if it's a matter of Chana to say, but this that you're doing, don't you think if you do this, and but not to just entirely come and be like, friend, no, you can't. Like, this
wrong.
whole thing you can't. No, it should be just 2 cents here and there, but not to just like change the entire decision somebody else has taken.
You can't do that because in as much as you can also advise, I think I've already mentioned this, that even if it's just an advice thing where we are saying, okay, friend, don't you think this is a better option? If you still go back to that your option, I must be okay. I must be happy for you.
Yeah.
Yes. How much you need to love and respect a person to be okay with whatever decision they take, because at the end of the day it's their lives and they have to make their own decisions.
Yeah, so you saying that and understanding that people are different, would you live with me if I was a reckless spender?
That's a different thing. No, you know what? It would be a shame. I think the thing is knowing that, you know what, whatever decision you take for yourself, I know it sounds like you're not being irrational. If you are career oriented, you're going to do everything to better yourself career wise. So if it's the studying and things like that, I know that it's for a greater cause. Whether you are failing or not, at the end of the day, if you need a certificate that's going to move you from point A to point B, I know that it's a good decision. There's a good reason behind doing that. But if when you are just reckless, money ujila on a transport, baby girl, no. I'm sorry, I won't be your friend. I can't do that because you're gonna ask me for the money.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, now I'm going to progress in life, and then you don't.
Yes.
What kind of a thing is that? Then what kind of what kind of friends are we going to be?
Yeah.
Because we don't build each other.
Maybe,
that's another thing.
I don't know if I'm just throwing this out of proportion, but I feel like then we're gonna start stealing from each other. If you think about it.
No, exactly.
Because if I run my cup dry, and I know that my friend like his money, maybe just you have this amount of cash that you leave somewhere, I'll come and take it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why like some of the friendships die, because you are not aligned.
Yes, that's the thing.
right? That there's no alignment.
Yes, now I even remember there was this time you even mentioned something about, I don't know who asked you what, or you were talking with who about friendships and stuff, that you said, I mean, I haven't leave money in the house and my friend knows where the money is. And like, you're okay to leave the money there. Because I mean, even if I leave my money here, I'll find it
here
because it's mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you're saying, it can evoke things like stealing.
Yes.
It's possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I think compatibility also is very much important. You can't be friends with people who are not savvy and you are. You can't.
It's not gonna work. It's gonna be very difficult, and I feel like it's gonna hold you back. When I personally, because now then I'm always going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe if you need to end friendships because of that, maybe it's time.
Baby, now I would.
Maybe it's time, because if it doesn't serve you, then it's taken from you, and that's not how it should be. That's not how you'd want to live your life. I just feel like then you'll never progress, knowing that you have this person that you are so different from, and you don't agree on this thing that is very much important in life, because finances are just way too important.
Finances are way too important that it's one of the things that you really cannot compromise on, honestly. Like where you can, things that you can avoid, you must always run. And I think it applies in everything in life. If you think about it, the reasons why we form friendships, relationships, there's always a goal, friend. And if whatever that you're doing, the person is not aligned with what you're trying to achieve, then what is the point? It's either you're with a person because whether it's financial benefit, or you just want to be happy or whatever, but there's always a reason. And if it's not aligned with that, then
what are you doing?
What is the point?
Yeah.
So
that.
Yeah.
So, but I think you've already touched on this about maybe going on dates and somebody paying and all of that.
Yeah, that we already touched
on. But yeah, I think that also, knowing that it's the two of you going out, not one person taking you guys out. Just because she came up with the idea that we need to go out doesn't mean that then she must just always bear the cost.
No.
Right? Yeah. Like, for example, my friend and I are just different. I'm not much of an outgoing person, and she is. She actually gets me out of the house. If I'm just being honest. A lot of times. But just because she said, okay, friend, let's do this, doesn't mean that then I'm just gonna be like, Aibo girl, Pella, you're the one who said you should come here.
And it's also because it's not like you don't want to do, because if you don't, you will tell me, hey,
I'm not going.
I don't want to.
And I think honesty also, like, we're just so honest, like, hey, my friend,
I don't want that. You can't, like, I think it's also a thing of where do you put your money into. It's the same reason why we stopped going to clubs. It's like, do we really enjoy doing this?
Or are we just wasting our money? We had to be honest.
Yeah.
And like, okay, what do we like?
We don't like this.
No.
So why must we waste our money? So it's the same thing. If it's a thing of, I don't like this, I know I'm not going to enjoy, so I'd rather not do it.
No,
so
not do it.
Yeah.
So that level of honesty.
Yeah.
So.
And the going out needs to be planned. I think we did mention this, that it's always a thing of, okay, we'll go when we get paid for that month, we are going to go to this place when we get paid for that, so that when you put your budget in order to say, okay, this month I need this much to be able to go to this whatever place that we've decided on. So it's always planned and nicely so that it doesn't inconvenience the other person financially.
And that's friendships and finances in a nutshell. That you need to be friends with people that you are aligned with. You have not the same goals, but you understand where you are and you understand what you need to do in order to get there. And maybe if you want different things, then there should be a common thing amongst the both of you.
Yes. Yeah. There has to be something that is so common. And maybe maybe it can be both, or how do I put this? Maybe it won't necessarily be a thing of finances only, but just what kind of a friend you are to the other person. Because now I know that should I be in a position where I'm stranded, you will come through for me. So I don't know that one then what kind of a friend do you have? I don't know about that, but it's really also just so important to know that, you know what, if shit ever hits the fan, Chumi's got me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because also you know that if I be in a financial difficulty, it's not because I'm irresponsible. You
No.
know me.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
So
know, I heard something that even if you guys want different things,
yeah,
there should be that one thing that is common. You're not being irresponsible.
Yeah.
You're just going through some of the things,
Yeah.
and they're unavoidable. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah. So I think that in friendships, it's important.
Yeah.
And honesty, transparency. What else did we mention?
respect.
Yeah, respect. That also is very much important. Somebody else's money is not yours.
No,
Even
it's
if
not.
they get twice as much as you do,
No.
it's not your money.
Yes, and you're also not entitled to say that just because they have so much money, when you guys go on dates, they must always pay. No, rather you must pay the lotto that you have.
Otherwise, stay at home.
Yes, babe, stay at home. Because
Period.
why?
I get what you don't afford. And I'm not
No,
trying to
you
be
don't.
bitter.
It's because you don't afford.
Yes.
Yes.
Then stay at home.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't feel some type of way when you see her out.
No, you
Because
shouldn't.
she said, let's go out. And you said, no.
Yes, and if they
then
didn't offer to pay. But also another thing, if you're going to offer to pay for something, please honor that. If you say,
Yes.
we have to go out, I'm going to pay, please pay. Don't get there and start acting like, oh, but please pay for the drinks or something. No.
No.
That was never the agreement. So don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't be like that.
And also respect people's financial positions.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
If you know that I don't afford to go to like maybe like the most expensive restaurant,
Yes.
don't take me there. Don't say no. Uskan sokoja. Don't. You get it. Uskan wankisha di plek and chucha how.
This is why I say if we're not going to
Nama 500. What more I can spend more than that. You can. Kanama. No, you get it. Bro,
I get
so you can't do
you.
that. You really need to understand where a person is financially.
Yes.
And know that this is how far they can reach.
Yeah.
Don't stretch someone.
No, don't.
If you wanna go have the best expensive restaurant, go alone.
Uba utapatela.
If
Wena ke re ba re ko patelela.
Eh,
Wena o kgone.
if
Uba
ha o
utapha
nyake.
200 like ta phetsa ka 300.
But something.
Chomi, how much do you have?
Yes.
And then Chomi,
Ah,
I can only be able to spend 200. I'm like, let's go. I'll
You see?
supplement.
You
Then
see?
that makes
That
sense.
is
There's
cool.
always, yeah.
Otherwise, no skankish.
No, why?
So my only one, and it's okay. And I shouldn't feel some type of
Yes,
way.
yes, yeah.
I shouldn't feel some type of way. I need to be okay with the fact that
I can afford you you don't afford.
life in Arlekani and it's okay.
Okay, and you need to accept the fact that
Arlekani. And then never Arlekani.
We will never.
Exactly.
Priorities are not
I did
fine.
Exactly. And maybe if you feel like you are leveling up at some speed, saying I get it, then maybe it's time for you to move out. If you want to now do all of
get
these
you.
things
Yeah.
that you feel like I won't be able to tag along,
Yeah.
then maybe it's time for you to just go be by yourself,
I get
so that
you.
when you now do those things, you don't feel
some
like
type of
guilty nyana or
get you.
exactly. Maybe you need to free yourself.
Yeah.
Very important, that one.
And also I've learned you need to understand your friends' financial goals. Like that they can't be spending money unnecessarily. No, I don't know if there's anyone who just spends money unnecessarily, but if you are able to spend money unnecessarily, then you need to be able to understand your friend's financial goals. That okay, maybe Chomi is trying to reach to this point financially, and for her to be able to achieve those goals, those dreams, then she can't be spending on certain things like whatever, and you need to respect that. And I feel like you need to love someone so much that you want to see them achieve their goals.
Right.
Yeah. Because that will make me happy to say, if you say this is how much I want to save by the end of the day, because I know how important that is for you, and then you are able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did explain to you, and maybe not that I am explaining myself, but I did like paint this picture just so you can understand why it's important for me to hit this thing that for me will be a milestone.
You get.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then
I must
you
be
will
able to
learn,
support you
and
with
because
that.
of that, you will learn to respect it because
Exactly.
you understand why I want that so
Yes,
badly.
yes, and it's also important for you to express yourself, to say, okay, now you know what, friend, there are things that I'm trying to do, there are things that I'm trying to achieve, and I won't be able to be doing these kind of things, so that your friend also know, because I will not know if you don't tell me these things. Now, because I know you have have money.
Communication, I
Communication is
forgot
key there,
that.
because I know you have money.
Yes,
I know,
but it's not money for that.
You get, and if you don't tell me,
Babes, that I can't do. You
then
always
I
assume
always
that.
assume, but Jim, you have money.
Yeah.
What, is there anything you're doing with your money?
And the next thing when you come and say, friend, let's do this, I'm like, no, I don't want to.
I'm gonna be like, okay, friend, what's wrong? You
Yes.
get, because I don't know that maybe there are things that you're working on.
And when you
that-
pet, you cut me off.
Exactly.
Once.
Cut her off, not and stress. I'm good at lolling.
Because we are also friends.
Wrong.
Yes,
I won't
we
be
are also
wrong
friends.
because
Like,
why Chemi Pilagana? It's what you're saying.
some hutamang,
Exactly.
So it's those things.
Yeah.
But I think having somebody in your life who understands where you are and where you
and
want
where
to
you're
go
going,
is very much important, and to have them be part of that journey, then they're going to able you to some extent to get to your goals. So it's very much important that you get friends who are aligned
Yes.
with what you want, and you are friends with them for a purpose.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't serve you anyhow, as I said, it's taken from you, and maybe it's time for you to let go of it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if you have the best friends, or if you have somebody that you know that you have the potential to reach greater heights with them, then it's time to tag along with them.
Yeah,
and
that's really important.
Yes.
It's really important, because if there's one thing for sure, we're all striving for financial stability and subsequently freedom. So we are working towards the same thing,
The
but in
common
in different ways. Yeah. So let now always remember, no man, we are going somewhere. Yeah.
Ritzeleng, and we need to help each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, we always need to help each other.
One way or the other.
Yeah. So that's the conversation that we just wanted to come in here and speak about, because we have the best friendship, period.
Yeah. Nena,
So
Mudimur life about you. We're the first in line. So Buga,
exactly. So for me personally, I'm just so grateful that I have you as my friend, and you're gonna continue being there. That I know for sure.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I'm not.
And I don't see how I would be where I am, without you in my life.
Same,
right?
Same. I don't.
And even just seeing things differently, and understanding that you can be this and also be that.
Yeah. True.
That also, and maybe we need to have like a separate video on this, because like as I've mentioned, we're two different people, different people, like Aritwane.
And it's so crazy,
we share the same name, Aritwane.
Hey, oh my god, Aritwane. Even just being like, oh my god,
Aritwane. But our friendship still works.
But you
out
wouldn't even
perfectly.
tell.
You wouldn't
the
even
next
tell.
person wouldn't even tell.
People just say like, you guys are a perfect match, and
Fana.
I remember this other guy was like, dude, rato guy, but so I think just having her and doing this live thing, until it get to a point whereby we can't do it anymore. Just having you around, I don't see how I would be where I am. I don't even think I would have this that I'm doing right now.
Right.
Yeah, if I'm just being honest. So very much important that you get to be with people who help you in life.
Yeah, and pray for your people, man. Pray for your friendships.
Always.
For God to always guide you guys through.
That is important.
And God, for Him to just be the center of everything that you do, because I feel like even God will be able to move us from point A to point B.
Yeah, pray for that. Yes, so that is the end of the video, and this is my friend. This is my friend, and I just
you
hope
finally
that
put, what do they say in English? You put a picture to the what
name,
something like that.
That. Yes, guys, this is the end of the video, and I think you have enjoyed this, and I think this will give you a different perspective where relationships are or friendships are concerned, and maybe this will also better your friendship somehow.
I hope so too.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and maybe comment on your friendship experience, if like they're the best or the worst, and if they're the worst, ask easy, and why,
and maybe just look into the reasons why, because you know what, sometimes you can really be a problem. Now I've seen in instances where I can potentially be a problem, and I'm like,
girl,
because sometimes you get to always consider the next person before you do something or even say something, and then you're like, Happy, I was gonna say that, but I didn't. And if I had, what kind of a friend was that going to make me? Wabona?
Yes,
So sometimes
yes.
you can be the problem. So you just need to sit back and see, okay, what can I learn? What can I improve? And what can I do better in the next friendship or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That also. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I don't know what to this thing for what
The 100th.
but thank you so much for watching, and
Thank you for
you
having me.
you are on Instagram. She
I'm
has
on Instagram and I am on YouTube. I'm gonna come back this year but there's nothing on my YouTube at the moment. But I
go
am gonna come back.
subscribe.
Please go
and
subscribe because I have some interesting content that's gonna come up hopefully before the end of this year because there's so much that we want to do. So hopefully God will make a way and then I'll be back on YouTube with some very interesting content. And I do have Instagram. I have an online store. My friend is gonna leave everything in the description box down below. And
maybe for
thank you
those
for
that won't
having
go to the
me,
description
friend.
box, what is your IG handle?
So my IG handles are at house_of_lerato.r, small letters, and then the other one is Rato's Beauty Corner. Yes, I changed the name.
Okay, I didn't know that one.
Yes. So that's the lashes and the hair. There isn't anything at the moment because I'm trying to rebrand. So
Okay.
but House of Lerato, there's stuff there, and then my website is the online store is www.houseoflerator.co.za.
Okay, that is that.
Yeah, go spend some coins there.
Please, you guys, we need to fund the friendship.
Please,
Okay.
hey. And if there's any outfit that you would like me to make for you, you can definitely hit me up on. My friend is gonna leave the number on the screen. I don't know my business number.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I will leave all of that in the description box, right?
Yeah.
Yes, guys. So thank you so much for watching.
Once again, thank you so much for
I'll
having
see you
me.
in
It's
my
been
next
fun.
video, and yeah.
Please
been
don't forget
amazing.
to subscribe and leave a comment down below.
Yes.
Cheers. You didn't look at me.
Okay.